Hello, and welcome back to Invitation to Puzzles, the series where we try and get you into a wide variety of logic puzzles by giving you some hopefully beginner-friendly puzzles in those genres, and also providing a walkthrough with some tips and ways to think about them. So today we're going to talk about Masyu, which is one of the more popular pencil puzzles out there. And so this is a loop building puzzle. I'll go over the rules first, and there's a link if you want to play down in the description. And then you can come back and see what there is to see. But I'll go over the rules of Masyu first. This is one of the more popular loop building genres. So we need to draw a loop that goes all the way around the grid in some way or another. It doesn't have to visit every cell or anything like that. Like that would be a loop, for example. But the loop needs to visit all of the stones. So the white and the black stones, as they're called, in the grid. And there are rules about what has to happen at the white stones and the black stones. And they have to do with turning. So at a white stone, the curve does not turn. So it has to go straight through, no 90-degree shenanigans, nothing like that. It has to go straight through white stones, no turning. On the other hand, on black stones, it has to turn. So you have to do something like that, or like that. So it has to visit all the stones, has to go straight through white stones and turn on black stones. Additionally, when it goes through a black stone, it has to not turn in the cell on either side. So in this case, when it turns on a black stone, this takes a bit to wrap your brain around, so I'll try and say this slowly. When it goes through a black cell, it has to continue straight through the next cell. So it has to go straight, turn straight, basically, as you go around, with the black cell being the turn. Okay. White cells, on the other hand, it has to turn, and this is different than the other one, it has to turn in at least one of the cells adjacent to the white cell. So what it cannot do is keep going straight, straight, straight. But it can do straight, straight, turn, that's fine. Or it can even do turn, straight, turn, that's okay too. But it has to make a turn on one side or the other of the white stones. Okay, I should mention this puzzle was made specifically for the series by Tyrgannus, because I mentioned that I had not had a Masyu for the series yet. So Tyrgannus, who is one of the setters for the wonderful Gap series that we featured many times on this series before. So again, I thank you, Tyrgannus, and I hope you enjoy this. All right, so link is down below, and let's attempt this. So things along the border are always the nicest. So we have to go straight through this, and if we go vertically straight, then we go off the grid. So we have to go horizontally straight through this, and horizontally straight through this. This cell is a corner, and ergo, we can only go this way. A corner is a spot in a loop puzzle where the loop only has one way to go through it, so that was a corner. Here, though, we need to remember the white stone rule, which is that the white can't keep going straight for a third consecutive straight in a row. So it has to turn, and it can only turn that way. There's no other turning directions. Okay. We can do similar things with my white stones down here. And again, we can't do the triple straight in a row through a white stone. Or around a white stone, I should say. So it has to turn on both sides of that. Okay. Black stones, we can do a similar thing. If they're on the border, we know that when I go through a turn, and I'll just pick this black cell, for example, that turn is always going to involve coming this way. Because, well, basically, I can't go straight through it. And so if I can't go straight through it, then I have to turn, and the turn, when I'm against the edge, can only go in one direction. So it's always going to be that way. And so when I have blacks against the border like this, I can always extend. And remember, after you turn, you always have this extension. So blacks along the border, you can always fill in these lines. And actually, even if they're one away from the border, we know they have to go either up or down, but this one doesn't have enough up to go up. So it has to go down. That one has to go down. Okay, and we can actually finish some of these now, because this black stone, it can't go down. It has to go up. That's actually sort of a combination of the two. These two can't join, because if they do join, then there's a turn too soon. Remember, on a black stone, after the turn, they have to go straight. So we can't do that. That breaks the rule of black stones. So we have to do that. And remember, have to go straight one. This one can't turn left, because if it does, then we end up with an only one long thing. It doesn't go straight after the turn. So we end up with that. And now notice a couple of these have run into white stones. So it has to continue through them and then abruptly turn, because remember, we've sort of set up straight into a white. Now we have to turn. Okay, so I use the little helper X's here to keep track of when I know something has to turn, even if I don't know which way it's going to have to turn. Now, both of these blacks now have some amount of force going on. So let's start with this one. Because of this X, what we've basically done is we've shoved this black cell against the edge, and we know that a black cell against the edge has to extend 2 away from the edge for purposes of turning. So we can basically treat this with the same sort of internal rule. This black cell we know has to go left or right, and left is broken, because if it goes left, it doesn't go 2. So it has to go right, which, by the way, means it doesn't go left, means that I can fill in this. And so it continues through the white cell, and here this cell has become a corner, so we go here and continue through the white cell. Okay, this black cell I see cannot extend this way, because if it extends 2 that way, it creates a fork in the loop, and loops don't fork. So it goes that way. And if that's true, now this cell is a corner. That's a corner. This is a corridor or a straight corner or whatever you want to call it. And so that all happens. And now this can't go up. And so it goes down 2, which that means that goes down as well. And again, this black cell is now basically on an edge, so we can figure that out. And it can't go left, because again, if it goes left, it creates a branch, so it goes right instead. Okay, let's look at these white things. So again, we can basically repeat the on an edge rule. So now that this black cell has turned here, this white cell is in essence on the edge, and so we know it has to go vertically, like that. And it can't turn left here, or it will lead into the abyss. Because if it goes this way, basically this loop end is going to keep wandering until it crashes into the loop and breaks. So you can't ever strand a loop end by itself in any loop genre. So it's going to go this way instead, and it's going to keep chasing down this corridor. I can't connect there because that'll make a little loop. We don't want to make a little loop, so it'll do that. And now this is now at a corner, so it does that. And now if this goes up, it now creates a death spiral, where it now sort of strands itself, so it goes down instead. Which is very nice, because it now tells us now we've blocked off the back side of this black diamond, so it goes that way. Okay. We cannot cutely go through this white stone, because if we do, we'll create a mini loop, so we don't do that. And so if we don't turn that way, we have to turn this way. And now, if you look at this, now this end is tied, because if it goes this way, it now is isolated in the death spiral zone. So instead, rather than entering the death spiral, we'll go that way. Okay. And now, cutely, if this white stone is vertical, now actually I've stranded both ends of my loop and they can never meet again. Because now this is in the death spiral zone over here, and this is in the death spiral zone over here, and they can wander around for a while, but they're eventually going to crash. And that is no good. So if I can't make this straight away vertical, I have to make it horizontal instead. And again, we need to avoid death spirals. So this can't go this way, or I end up in the infinite death spiral. So it goes that way. And this can't go up, or I end up in a very little death spiral. And so it comes down. And voila, we have completed our Masyu. Excellent puzzle there. I hope you got on well with it. Let me know in the comments if you enjoyed that and what you learned. I always love to hear if you learned a new trick or a new way of thinking about it, or if you got stuck somewhere or didn't get stuck somewhere. I love to hear all of that, so do let me know. Huge thank you again to Tyrgannus for the support of the providing the puzzle, and a few others that you'll see trickling out over time from Tyrgannus. So huge thank you to Tyrgannus. I hope you enjoyed that, and I'll see you all next time. Bye for now.